Good morning. I'm just going to wait a few seconds for the LinkedIn Live to catch up. The broadcast usually starts about 15 seconds in. So, good morning. This morning's front page of the New York Times is an optimistic graph showing the impact of Donald Trump's trade tariffs on the stock market. Yeah, this is when Donald Trump took office, and this is now. That's 10%. As I saw yesterday on the social media, you can't have a depression without a recession. And so, we're on the route. Big font on the front page of the newspaper here. Trump tariffs shock waves circle the globe. Doesn't mention Trump, actually, which is, calculated. Anyway, it was fun watching CBS Evening News last night because they were desperately trying to avoid placing responsibility for this at the hands of the person whose responsibility it is. When you've been retaliating against everybody in sight for several months, you kind of spook everybody so that they don't blame you when you make a catastrophic error like this. Donald Trump used emergency powers to institute these tariffs. So he said that it's an economic emergency, that we have a trade imbalance with other countries. That's not really probably true based on all of the economic indicators prior to him taking office. If you remember, stock markets were really doing rather well at the end of last year and everyone was kind of happy. Now stock markets have tanked. So actually, yes, we do have an economic emergency, but only because Donald Trump created one. I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to remember that we had choice last November between two candidates, one who was evidently competent and not reactive, and this guy. And yet more than half of Americans elected this guy to lead the country. And now we're all going to pay the price. Come 2026, voters have short memories and will probably want to re-elect we'll want to elect a different crop of candidates for the House and Senate. Assuming Democrats can get out their own way, they'll probably take over control and be able to kind of rein him in a bit. And then in 2028, assuming he isn't dead by then, we'll be able to elect somebody else. I just think 4 years is an awfully long time for an entire country and probably the world to suffer as a result of this catastrophic error in economic policy. The big problem, though, is that Trump cannot admit defeat. He cannot admit a weakness. He cannot admit a mistake. And so you've got this. I mean, that is clear, right? That's a failure. Yeah. I mean, they may as well write Donald Trump has small hands on the front cover of the paper, right? So that's a failure. Now, this guy doesn't admit failure, he doesn't admit weakness, he doesn't admit defeat, he just attacks. And so when you have a huge failure like this all over the world, what's your options? You don't have many. You can dig in deeper, create more crisis, create more chaos, or you can, that's it. There's no other option. He can't say, actually, I'm an idiot. I made a mistake, I regret it, and I'm sorry to America. He just is incapable of doing that. And so we suffer the consequences. One good thing is we live in a democracy where voting happens. We live in a democracy where facts matter. I've said several times recently, Trump is acting like a dictator who thinks that we don't. He thinks that he can kind of take control of the markets, take control of the economy, take control of your brain, and just do whatever he wants. But while he's putting incompetent people in charge of agencies that really matter for this country's health and future prosperity, he's also turning voters against him in droves. If you look at what happened in Wisconsin earlier this week, voters roundly rebuked Trump and Elon Musk by hugely supporting a Democratic supported candidate for Supreme Court judge. The writing is on the wall for the Republicans already, and it's only April in the first year of his term. So you've got a man who's injured, upset, terrible at understanding what that means and how to get out of it. And he's only got 3.5 more years to make a nuisance for everybody. I really want to swear right now. I really want to swear and say something very rude about Donald Trump. I'm not going to, because obviously this is a LinkedIn Live broadcast with a family audience. But I look forward to reading the newspaper tomorrow, when perhaps it won't be quite so irritating. He's such an idiot.